What's up, everybody? I just sat here and did a whole opening intro with no sound. My mic was muted that whole time, wasn't it? Keep it real. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I was out here bullshitting. Just now putting my headsets on. I'm serious. I didn't even know my mic was muted. Anybody could have sent me a text. Even if y'all would have sent a message, I wouldn't have saw it, though. But what's up? We in here. That's going to be bad for the people who come back in on the playback, which may mess up the views to the show, but is what it is. We in here now. People will eventually file in here. But yeah, that was another. I start off. It seems it's running into a. Excuse me. It's running into a running gag where I start off each show with an unforced error. I'm working on that. I'm definitely working on that. A Run came in, and then Mac the Trucker just said, "Yeah, no sound." And you slipping on your pimping again to Mac the Trucker because A Run trolling ass beat you in here. Curlin M, what's up? Salute to you. The Mac the Trucker coming in late with his comment says, "What's going on, everyone?" My man Cold World in the building. Like when J. Cole say Cold World. That's why I don't even pronounce the D on your Cold World. I don't know if that's a J. Cole reference when you got Cold World up there, but I just say Cold World. I like when J. Cole say that. J. Cole, one of my favorite. I mess with J. Cole. The Mac the Trucker says, "I was looking at Ramil live stream last night. That's why I'm late." Yeah, I was looking at that shit last night. This morning I was looking at Ramil's live stream. The one, I think it was you that told me about it. The one that he did with when he had ARC on there. Yeah, I had to go ahead and excuse me. I had to go ahead and put 5 on it for Ramil's Patreon. I wanted to see that video when him and ARC was going back and forth about whether or not mode 1 was pump and dump. I wanted to see that bad that I dropped 5. Well, I shouldn't even say that bad that I dropped 5 on it, because dropping 5 on it is what I do for a lot of. I support a lot of content creators. Many of them more than just putting 5 on it. You know, Obsidian, Kevin Samuels, O'Shea, Angry Man, the brother BA at the Black Avenger, well, FS Avenger now. It's a few more. I said it and forget it. I forgot who all I support at this point. I support quite a few. But I ended up adding Ramil to the list just because mostly because I wanted to see that discussion he had with ARC, and it went a little different than I thought. But a lot of it went where I thought. Some of it was not that impressive or fascinating to me. I mean, people who don't like, if you don't like ARC, then yeah, you rooting and cheering by that one, because Solo TV 84 came on there and tried to sort of do a little expose, sort of how they just did some shit on Obsidian. How they tried to expose Obsidian on some stuff. Well, ARC kind of got, I don't know. I don't know if it's true. But one person saying it is enough, like I said, and it's Black YouTube Court of Public Opinion. That's technically enough to go to trial, where people will bring that up on ARC when he start talking cash shit, beating his chest about how he are on the women. Then eventually somebody gonna bring that up. That's a trump card people gonna hold back on him, because there was some stuff said about his personal relationship he had with the woman, and how he acted when him and that woman broke up. I don't necessarily buy it, but I mean, I don't know. I don't care. That's one I could just look at it, say, damn, and then just put it down. Because he explained himself very well. But to put it mildly, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, they was talking about how he was very distraught, to put it mildly, after him and that woman didn't work out. To the point to where, yeah, it's embarrassing. If it's all true, it would be embarrassing on his on his stat sheet. But that aside, I don't, the merits of what they were talking about, whether or not mode one is pumping and dumping, that was a more interesting part, not the personal expose on ARC. I didn't really care for that. GA Boy said, if you're not a flaw guy, you're not ashamed of the skeletons in your closet. Well, no, that's true. You shouldn't be ashamed of your skeletons in your closet. But if the skeletons in your closet go against the core of what you talk about online, then it's kind of, it's kind of a problem. Kind of, it's kind of a problem. But again, like I said, kind of a problem, not just a full blown problem. But that part, I don't know. I don't care about that personal relationship. Players can fall in love, I guess. So, but and yeah, it was so much to it that I'm not trying to flesh that out. The part that's interesting to me is the simple fact. Uh-oh. I mentioned whenever Obsidian comment, I dropped a link. I mentioned ARC, then Obsidian comment. I dropped a link now. Obsidian. I don't know what to do with this one. I don't know if I want to drop that link and have Obsidian come up here talking shit about ARC. I don't know if I want that fire. That's a fire that I don't want to have to extinguish. I don't want to see Obsidian versus Alan Roger Curry round 3,476 on my show. I don't know. But I am going to drop the oh yes, drop the link. Oh shit. I had a whole show for, I'm going to get back to my regularly scheduled program, but I detour for Obsidian if you want to come up and talk shit. Here's hoping and wishing that whatever is discussed is on merit on the merits of points that were made, because ARC is all right with me. And I wanted to talk about whether or not his dating approach, I was just going to briefly touch on, there go the link, but I was going to briefly touch on whether or not his dating approach is the same as, similar to pump and dump, or related to pump and dump, or connected to pump and dump, or no different than pump and dump. That's an interesting conversation that I did want to touch on before I get into my main topic. I was only going to touch on it for 5 minutes, but we might be up here talking about it longer. But Tony Vegas, what's up? I see a lot of people in the chat having a hard time getting to shouting out everybody, but we got Obsidian on the panel, and I'm interested. What's going on, oh man?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Good morning.
Yeah.
It's a happy day today. Oh, happy day. I'm feeling great. How you feeling? Yeah, man. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great, feeling good, feeling optimistic, ready for action.
So what prompted you to want that link? I know something's on your mind heavy.
Well, of course, I've heard about the recent kerfuffle that our good friend Mr. Alan Roger Curry finds himself. Mr. Solo TV 84 has made some interesting points. He makes some interesting points. But in this particular instance, I'm inclined to agree with you. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I mean, at the risk of, giving Alan Roger Curry the impression that he really isn't the most important thing in the universe, I don't care about, who he deals with in his past or present. or future for
Mhm.
that matter. I don't care. I just don't. Whether it's true, whether it's not true, whether it's sort of true, kind of true, I don't care.
Right.
I, I don't see how that's relevant to his argument with regard to mode one. Either way, let's assume that it is true. Okay, so what? So what? How can you prove that it's relevant to mode one?
Well,
How
it
does that
would.
if the argument is that it and that's really what this is, because black folks love to play gotcha.
Hmm.
We love to play gotcha. Okay, great. So let's assume for the sake of argument that's 100% true. Matter of fact, we even haven't heard the half of all the sort of details. We only got a little glimpse of it. Okay, great. So how does that discredit mode one? I don't. You would have to explain to me how that factoid discredits mode one. You would
That
have to explain that to me.
Yeah, that wouldn't discredit mode one. It wouldn't. But what people are arguing is that if you supposed to be the man like that with the ladies, you talking all the hardcore cash shit, you don't bend on your principles and you this and you that and you're alpha and you're dominant and you all, you talking all of that, then that's not, that would depict somebody who's the chest beaten alpha male in a not so alpha light if he's that broken up over a woman that he was with for, as he said, 9 months. So that would be a little stain on his, on his bravado, so to speak. You know what I'm
That
saying? So
would, that would,
that's where people
that would be
that's where
true.
people
That would be
go ahead.
true for low resolution thinking black folks, of which there are many.
Okay.
You know, reasonable, intelligent people understand that one faux pas, assuming it's true, does not invalidate. So again, you would have to
True.
explain to me how, assuming it's true, how it invalidates it. The only people who think it invalidates it are low resolution niggas. They're low IQ. Why can't we just say that? Why can't we just say, we have a lot of dumb niggas. We just got to admit it. Why can't we just admit that to ourselves and move on? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because a lot of us are related to dumb niggas. We have dumb niggas in our family, our mamas, our daddies, our brothers, our sisters, our sons and daughters, our baby mamas, our husbands, our wives. We are surrounded by dumb niggas. That's why.
Yeah.
It is too painful to
Oh, you borged out for a second. Borged out for a second. Well,
hello.
say yeah. Start talking now. Let me see if I can if
Yeah.
it's getting if it's
What I'm
better.
saying is that this is a dumbass debate for a very simple reason. If you're going to say that any man falls in love with a woman and is over it's somehow a simp, then there's a lot of black men that are simps. Because a lot of black men do fall in love and are disappointed and heartbroken. I'm not voting against that.
Yeah.
Assuming,
Well.
assuming it's true. But the better question is, and I am not surprised in the least that this isn't the debate, which is what you said. Is mode one. Mode one mode a lifestyle that contributes to the very problems in the black community that many black men complain about, i.e., single mothers, i.e., broken-hearted, bitter black women. Is that true? That would be a much better, more informed debate. But of course, we're not going to do that because we got too many dumb niggas.
Yeah. 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 You kind of Borg. I can make out everything you said, but it is Borg, and I don't know if you can do something about it. I don't know if it's the weather in Philly.
No, it's Streamlabs.
Oh,
There's
okay.
something inherent with Streamlabs that does this because it doesn't do it on anything else that I use. Not on Mixler, not on Zoom. It only does it on Streamlabs.
Well, maybe I'll consider getting Zoom. I don't know that much about Zoom. I kind of like Streamlabs, but some people do have a problem with it. Some people get on and they can hear everybody except one person, or they can hear everybody but the host, and all kind of shit like that going on. But yeah, the points that you were touching on, they were good points, and I liked the conversation Ramil and Alan Roger Curry was having because it was no attack on anybody. Well, ARC was kind of saying that Ramil comes off as bitter and hurt or whatever, but I didn't care for that part of it. But just far as the merits of rather or not, like you said, does Mode One lend to females being hurt? And I think they kind of got them on that one when they said that even though you tell a woman up front, and I've been guilty of this, and I had to reevaluate myself because of this one, because I've had that conversation up front with women. I've had women up front tell me that they just wanted a casual sex thing. And when the casual sex thing went on and then it ultimately came to an end, if I was the one who was ready to end it before she was, she took it just like her boyfriend broke up with her. So she was, I mean, and again, that's her own individual adult choices. But I did have to realize that in that sense, in that context, that I did essentially pump and dump. Even though I was honest at first, like I've always said, when two people have a casual sex arrangement, whenever that casual sex arrangement comes to an end, whoever's the one who made it come to an end, that's the one who pumped and dumped. They used that person for whatever sexual get off they needed for whatever period of time, whether it was 1 week, 3 weeks, or 6 months. When they were done, they moved on. That categorically is pumping and dumping. Now, ARC argued that no, pumping and dumping is when you lie to a woman and make her think that you want a long-term relationship, but you really just want to have a casual sex thing for a little while. But then he later admitted, and as Ramil said, because Ramil described that he was essentially mode two, and that's exactly what I was when I was out there dating. I'm in a relationship with one woman right now, but when I was out there dating, I was mode two. They didn't ask, I didn't tell, I didn't give my intentions. I just talked to them, invited them over, or took them out, then invited them over, or took them out a few times, and then tried to get to their house, tried to get to my house, and if the vibe was right, shit happened, and it happened, and we had sex, and that was that. And if we ended up having sex without discussing the terms and conditions, most men are going to take that as a win because now the man can operate how he wants to operate. That's what most guys do, whether that's right or wrong. Most guys are just vague and ambiguous. That's what ARC calls mode two. So I would say probably only 5% are showing up just with their hat in hand and roses behind their back, telling them that they want to give them the long-term relationship and marriage and all of that, and then get the pussy a couple times and say gotcha bitch and go high stepping out the door. That only about 5 to 3% of guys probably doing that. Most guys are just trying to seduce the best they can. So I don't think anybody is lying. So therefore his definition that he gave for what pump and dumping is or what pump and dumping isn't, I don't think it flies. I think it's whenever a sexual relationship comes to an end, whoever ended it, that's who pumped and dumped. So that's where I think he may have lost on the merits of the debate. But yeah, the expose, I ain't give a shit about all that. Oh man, are you there?
Yes, you lost the debate.
I said ARC may have, when ARC was arguing that mode one is not pumping and dumping. I think he lost because again, if you're well, maybe I didn't say this exactly clear. If you're coming at a woman, letting her know early on that you have sexual intentions, letting her know about exactly what your sexual intentions are early. And if your sexual intentions are casual sex, you're in a position to pump and dump whenever that casual sex is over. So
that's not pump and dump. No.
Okay. Define pump and dump.
Here's the problem.
Define pump and dump for me.
All right. We have to say Twin Man 35. Twin Man 35 has characterized the debate as follows. You're lying to black women about your intentions, pumping and dumping them. The key word here is lying. Now, I wasn't present to listen to the actual debate that Alan Roger Curry was in with, I believe it was Ramil Amir.
It was Ramil, then Solo TV 84 joined later, trying to bring up some personal shit from
Okay.
ARC's past.
So Solo TV, by definition, would be DQ. Why? Because in a debate, the minute you bring up something personal about your interlocutor, that's attached to the admission that you lost. You lost the argument.
Yeah, he came up there just to do that. Like that was his only goal and purpose.
Yeah. Therefore, he on that basis, Solo TV 84 DQ. Now let's go back to the question. As Twin Man has presented it, by that definition, Alan Roger Curry, as he propounds in writing, cannot be pump and dump. Why? Because he's not lying to anyone. He's not lying to a woman when he says he just wants to have sex with her. He's telling her the truth. Now, if she accepts the terms, how can there be a pump and dump? How?
Well, what was argued is that
it's two adults who have agreed.
All right, old man dropped off. I think quite sure he'll be coming back. But what he was arguing that it can't be pump and dump if two people agree that they're going to have a casual sexual relationship. What was argued on that show,
personal morality and emotions for the facts. I'm not saying you have to agree with Alan Roger Curry. I'm not saying you have to like him. I'm not saying that you have to engage in short-term casual sexual mating. I am saying that by the rules of the debate that Twin Man himself has laid out vis-a-vis Ramil Amir, someone I do disagree with, Alan Roger Curry would disagree with, even Perk disagrees with in terms of lying to a woman about your intentions. On that basis, Alan Roger Curry's mode 1 cannot be considered pump and dump as Twin Man has defined it. Once again, I remind the listeners that he could mendacity. Look it up.
Okay, what I got to say in response to that, I don't think Twin Man is the authority on defining pump and dump because I don't think he's ever pumped and dumped. I don't think he's done that much pumping with or without the dumping, but that's just my opinion on Twin Man. So I don't think Twin Man is the authority on what pump and dump is and what pump and dump isn't. Ramil laid out that he defined it as if he meets a woman and they agree to any type of casual sexual relationship, whether they lay out the terms or conditions or not. If he's having sex with her and she wants the sex to continue, but at this point, Ramil would like for the sex to end, at that point, he's dumped her. That's why he says he's pumped and dumped her. Therefore, lying or not lying is still pumping and dumping if one person would like for it to continue and the other person would like for it to end.
But here's the problem.
Okay.
They both agreed that it was just going to be sex. So that throws the attention back on the black women. Why are you agreeing to terms that have already been laid out to you, thinking that you can switch it up later on down the line?
Yeah, but okay, so it's two things here. One aspect of it is switch it up down the line and try to flip it into a relationship. If she's trying to do that, yeah, she's wrong. But what was argued and what I would argue is that let's just say they agree to some casual sex. The casual sex goes on for 3 weeks. He would like for it to be over. Once they made it to about that 3-week mark, he was tired of having sex with her. He had new women coming in that he wanted to have sex with, or he just was bored with her or whatever. So he's done with her, but she's enjoying the sex and she would like for it to go on for at least another 3 to 6 months. At that point, he has broke off a sexual arrangement, casual or not casual. He broke it off. And therefore, if he broke it off, he has essentially dumped her. And if he mode one her and spit some of that ooh say it again game in her ear and seduced her and got her, in his bed relatively early into knowing her, started having sex with her, 3 weeks goes by, he's done, and she don't want to be done, he does have to break it off. He does essentially have to dump her, and women do take that like they just lost a boyfriend.
So, well, that's on them.
Yeah, I know. So the guy,
black women, see, this is something that Twin Man doesn't want to accept.
Mm-hmm.
Black women are adults. They have to accept the
Ooh.
consequences of their actions. And see, this is the reason why I used Alan Roger Curry for my purposes. Because the number one thing that black women talk about with regard to black men is that they constantly lie to them, run game on them. What happens, ladies, when you get what you claim to want, which is a man that tells you from the rip, I just want to fuck you for about a month. That's it. Now what? Now what?
Yeah, no. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. But just the only part where I feel like normally when people have sex, they don't normally people engage in casual sex, they don't lay it, they don't put a time period on it. They just say that it's casual. So if one person wants it to end and the other person wants it to continue, that person is still dumping that person. And that mode one game put them in position to be able to
Part of the
let
mode
go of
one
that person.
game, but part of the mode one game, as propounded by its face, Mr. Curry himself, is there is a temporal element. Look it up.
I know he says either short term non monogamous, short term monogamous, long term non monogamous, or long term monogamous.
No, he puts an even finer point on it.
Oh,
3
okay.
weeks, a weekend, 6 months, whatever. He does that. So again, if you get
Mm.
into an arrangement with the brother properly applying mode one, ladies, and you catch feelings and get digmatized, whose fault is that?
Okay, if mode one is if it's laid out that specific where you are to put a specific time limit on it, then no, it's not dumping. Even if that person wants to go after that that 3 months time period. But I don't know how many people are actually pulling off that are actually saying putting a time limit on the casual sex before the casual sex gets going. I that's something I don't know about, but I can see in that sense that that ARC can distance mode one from pumping and dumping in that regard. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Now, pardon me, I'm having some breakfast here. Now, in that I have steel manned his argument.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to bring it to the other side, which is this. You see, the problem with Alan Roger Curry's defense, is that everyone perceives him to be pumped. Not that he is, but everyone perceives him to only be interested in hitting it and quitting it.
Mm-hmm.
As he is the face of mode one. And since no one, and I know the official line from Alan Roger Curry, you can use mode one for long term or short term, and he will often cite his brother, who used mode one to get married. Okay, so how come his brother isn't on his channel giving raving endorsements about it himself?
Ooh, that's sort of the point that I made when I touched on this yesterday. I don't want to say that ARC is being disingenuous when he says that, because I think it is factually true that you can use mode one in your pursuit of a long term, as he calls it, emotionally profound relationship that ultimately results in marriage. You can use mode one on that. However, how many guys need mode one teaching and tutelage on how to to properly tell a woman that you want a real relationship? I think most guys can handle that one.
Not only that, but see, this is nothing new for Alan Roger Curry. This is, when I say what I'm about to say, it's not my opinion. This is documented. You can go back to his Blog Talk Radio show and hear it for yourself. This problem has been dogging Alan Roger Curry for a decade or more. A lot of black women, and at least some black men, we mentioned Twin Man 35, think that Alan Roger Curry's mode one is just about getting easy, casual sex. Well, what does Alan Roger Curry himself? He's his biggest salesman for mode one. What does he talk about?
Easy casual sex, same
All right,
day
then.
seduction, and
All
yeah,
right, then. So that's his problem. And it
yeah.
is his problem because, like I said, this is a problem that has existed for over a decade, and he hasn't saw fit to address it. So when people associate mode one with pickup, something else doesn't like getting casual sex. And so is mode one in the mind of many black men, and at least some black men, black women, and at least some black men. And that's all. That's Alan Roger Curry's fault.
You know what? I remember an older video when he actually admitted it. I see some people in the queue. I'm gonna keep this a one on one real quick for right now. Then later on, I'm gonna bring y'all up. I don't want y'all to feel like I'm leaving y'all hanging. I do want to keep this a one on one for the time being. But he admitted that he said that he said that he takes some responsibility for the fact that people interpret it like that, because like you said, that is all he talks about. He don't tell, you know, war stories about how how either him or some of his clients just mold one this chick about how much they just really wanted a long-term relationship with her. Like it's like nobody goes in mold wanting about that. You know, it's just like that's if he don't give stories like that. He tells a story about the guy that was some girls was over the house, and they that some guys that he knew, or no, one of his clients or somebody, they had some girls over, and the girls was over there for 4 hours, and then one of the girls that went to the bathroom and walked into the wrong room or something, and then a guy who wasn't even there for the girls, he was just in his room chilling, just told one of the women right there that he wanted to get with her and have sex with her or something, and she was like, oh, clutched her pearls, and then you know, a couple hours later they left, and then the chick came back, but she came back for the mode one guy. He used stories like that as, you know, the triumphs of mode one. So clearly that a big part of what mode one is, or as he sells it, put it like that, as he sells it, it's about um yeah, it's about, you know, those same day seductions, or those that wooing that woman into a casual sexual relationship.
So, like I said, yeah, I was very cocky of him. I'm Roger Curry suited my purposes. I wanted to, see, I like shutting black women up. I just like shutting them down.
Mm-hmm.
For many decades, black women have complained about black men, and they would be right. There's something to be said about that. But now you have a black man saying, just be upfront and straightforward. Now what, ladies? Now what? See, I already know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I already know the answer. I know a lot of black women. If black men, if 95% of black men overnight with mode one, black women would be miserable.
Yes, I agree.
I already know the answer.
Yeah, they could not handle that, because shout out to ARC. I think he got the game figured out. It would drive them crazy because they wouldn't be able to get, as what he calls, the non-sexual attention from guys. That non-sexual time, attention, and affection, free dates and drinks and this or that. They would be miserable if every guy walked up to them just cutting right to the chase about some sex, or cutting right to the chase about what it is that they want. They would be miserable.
So, again, I think it's a worthy debate. And within that debate, Alan has to acknowledge, and he has, that he bears some responsibility for his brand being perceived by many black women and some black men, and this is all documented, not my opinion,
Yep.
going back well over a decade, that this is the perception of mode one. He has to take responsibility for that. But at the same time, we have to consider the question: what did black men, black women really got what they claim to want, which is honesty, black men? Then what? Then what?
Yeah, they'll be miserable. They would be miserable. Like it would, because I talked about this before, how a lot of guys may have approached a woman or came at her thinking that they just wanted to have sex with her, in the pursuit or process of trying to do that, and then once the sex got going, they just gradually stumbled into a relationship. But if he was mode one from the start and just shot it right from the hip and just told her exactly what was on his mind, then yeah, then that would have threw that whole situation off. But in ARC has said he don't care about what women think or how women feel about it, or how it would affect women if every guy went mode one. He says he don't give a fuck about
which leads to the next question.
Okay.
You're right. He has said that. That leads to the next question. And we could let's put this on the table. Alan doesn't give a shit. So what does that tell you? Then we got to bring it back to the twin man argument. What does that say for a community with that mindset?
Well, Well, the way I look at that, and I kind of said this to Twin Man, well, the men who are truly in that position to not give a shit because they've had their take and their share of casual sex from a wide variety of women, and they're still getting it, and they're getting it on a regular. So they got every excuse not to give a shit because they're getting everything that they want. What I argued is that it's a small percentage of men who could really get it like that. I'm not saying I'm not talking about morality, because if most men could live that lifestyle, they would. But it's a small percentage who can effectively pull that off with really good looking women. But it does say something about a community and a mindset. But I'm not so sure. I think that most men, regardless of race, if they could get it like that, have a lot of casual sex, a revolving door of women coming in and out, most men would want it regardless. So I don't know what that does or what that says about the community. I'm not 100% sure on that one. So
Well, I can tell you.
okay.
I already know the answer. It gets what you got. See, the only difference in the community today and the mode one is that you have a lot of black men who lie. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had black men who were honest, it would get demonstrably worse.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely see that. I think that I think when black women say they want men to be honest, what they still are de facto saying is they want they want black men to tell them what they want to hear. You know, they're not saying really be honest. So from the woman end of it, I can't really. They're just talking. But I do see what you're saying, that a lot of black men are dishonest, and if they got mold one and they did speak their honest heart, then with the honesty that they're holding back behind the lie is probably worse than the lie.
Oh my God, we got one of the biggest liars on black social media going right now, Derek Jackson.
Uh-oh.
But by the way, this isn't a personal opinion. If you go here on YouTube or Facebook, type in Abe ABE and preach, like a preacher. Abe and preach.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll follow them.
Derek Jackson. You will see them presenting videos of Jackson contradicting himself, and not just like a one-off. I mean, at least 5 or 6 times. He directly contradicts himself on video. But it's okay because he's the right-looking guy and tells black women what they want to hear. So whose fault is it that black women are upset about black men lying to them? They're willing to pay Derek big money to lie to them.
Yeah, one of my early videos, when I barely even knew what I was doing with a YouTube channel, it was well over a year ago. I had one of the first videos I made was a video where I was showing Derek Jackson contradicting himself and changing up his argument depending on whether or not the man was on the hot seat or the woman was on the hot seat. So yeah, he does that all the time. Almost every Derek Jackson video you pull up, you can find another Derek Jackson video where you can use his own words and have him cook himself, as they saying nowadays. So yeah, I've long known that he's disingenuine and lying, and it couldn't be more obvious. That's part of my fascination with his content and how women react to it. I do like to observe that. I do like to be a fly on the wall for
and
that.
You know the reason why so many sisters are so butthurt over the old man? I'll tell you the reason why, because what I said is true. Not that what I say wasn't true. Not that I said it was a bunch of lies. But what I said was true.
Yeah, shout out to big game Orenthal James. You must be one of my originals. You remember those videos? Got to shout you out for that one. But yeah, no, it's definitely truth to what you're saying and what you're putting out here. And yeah, a lot of them don't like it. They can't rock with it. They don't want you to say it. I think a lot of the arguments against you, some people do actually take the time to try to pick apart the merits of the points that you're making, but a lot of the people who argue against you, their arguments come off to me like they're really just saying, I don't like what it is that you're saying, because you just stop saying it. That's really they just want you to shut up. That's what most of the arguments amount to me.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's a good debate. Unfortunately, we don't have enough smart brothers to conduct it. Unfortunately, it would have been a great debate.
Yeah.
And as per usual, it takes the old man to come in and sort it all out and properly set the set the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I was disappointed. I don't know if you saw it, but it looked like Ramil and ARC was on the brink of having a real good conversation, and then yeah, it just Solo TV came in there and Solo TV's a cool dude. He put out good content. Nothing against him at all. I've actually known about him for a little while now. Yeah, he came in and then just basically just as I say, he came in and just flipped the table over. Just like ARC and Ramil was sitting down at the table having a discussion. Solo TV 84 just came in and flipped the table, man. So that threw off the good conversation. I really didn't care about
It just goes to show. Now, what are we talking about now? We're talking about what Solo TV said, not the actual dialogue between Ramil and Alan Roger Curry. So what does that tell you about black folk?
Yeah, but no, for most people, that was the most interesting part. That wasn't the most interesting part for me.
So do you agree with me when I say that we black Americans in the year 2020 are actually say it all together with me, boys and girls, sing along if you know the words.
Uh-oh.
Follow the bouncing ball, a black idiocracy.
Yeah, I'll go with the black idiocracy. I was holding my breath. I didn't know if you was about to the ape stuff was coming. I was like, oh shit, what are you about to do? But I can.
Wait a minute, Bernie. Hold on a second.
Oh shit, damn it!
Someone just say
That's it.
Apes.
Apes do not want war.
Anyway, moving right along.
I knew I shouldn't. Oh man. So did you have anything else specifically that you wanted to say about ARC Mode 1? And
yeah, I'm about another 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and fire it up on my show.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, we're going to have a heck of a show today, and we're going to continue. Yesterday, I dealt with the psychology of the 21st century Negro American male.
Mm-hmm.
I have come to the conclusion, Bernie, because there's been a lot of discussion why black men don't financially support their own best interests, et cetera, so forth. Why they don't do that. And I have come to the conclusion, because, there's been a lot of discussion. Well, you got to build a better mousetrap. You got to do this, do that. And, I know the numbers. See, black men love to woof, woof, woof. We like that. All that woofing, roasting and toasting, and cooking and all the rest. But I like to deal with the numbers. And the numbers more than support the idea that the black manosphere should be getting far more financial support than it already does. So I come to the conclusion that these are problems that cannot be solved via means. That is to say, it can't be solved via business means, commerce. These are another example of what I.
Hey, oh man, Obsidian. The Borgen was real bad right there. I'm gonna give that a second, see if it could sync back up. But while I do that, I want to say 83 people watching, and I'm only seeing 38 likes. I'm gonna go ahead and refresh to make sure that I am seeing up to 38 likes. That's pretty bad. And Obsidian was just talking about black people not supporting. I ain't even asking for you to put nothing in the collection plate right now. That'd be cool, but that ain't even what I'm asking right now. I'm asking for free likes. Like the video. If you're here, clearly you like to be here. Wouldn't you like somebody else to be here? Hit the like button. That'll get more people to come in, to get the chat room popping and jumping and all of that good stuff. So yeah, hit that like button. But Obsidian, you can pick back up where you was at.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I was saying that today's show is going to pick up from where I left off on yesterday's show, which was dealing with the psychology of the 21st century Negro American male. And I've come to conclude, Bernie, that these are problems that cannot be resolved via conventional means. These are issues from the Negro. This is psychology. There's some deep psychology at work with the Afro-American Negro male in 2020. Deep. But and I dealt with that yesterday. But today is the ladies' turn.
Uh-oh.
Everything has to be equal, and it is Women's Month. March is Women's Month. Women's History Month, right? So we got to look at it.
They can't say you're not fair and balanced.
Exactly. We got it. Now it's the ladies' turn. We put the brothers on the hot seat yesterday, and rightly so.
Yeah, we was on the hot seat.
And now it's the ladies' turn. Coming up on Mixler, we will deal with the psychology of the 21st century Negro American female and the role that they play in all of this. Because they do play a role. They're not blameless. They do play a role. And we're going to get to that in a few minutes.
All right. Yes, I'm ready for that. And that means I'll be off the air at 11. And I know it's some people out there who act like it's somehow hard to just take a few extra clicks to go to a different platform to listen to a content creator. We got to cut that shit out. It's just a few extra clicks. So right after my show ends, we should have no problem. All of us going right over to Mixler. It's like that. Like, come on. Like things like that should be easy, but it's some people act like it's just too much of a pain to make a couple extra clicks to get to a different platform. But yeah, definitely after I shut it down here at 11, that's normally about the time that you step to the mic, and then you can transfer the audience right on over there. I know a lot of people already do it. I'm just talking to those that don't. But yeah, that will definitely work out. I can't wait. I want to hear your show on that, because the one when you went in on the guys yesterday was pretty good. So I'm interested what this one is going to do. So with that said, I think I'm going to probably open this up if you say about to go and get started over there, or I might go through my little opening spiel that I was going to do and then probably open it up, bring people in towards the end. But yeah, thanks for coming on. I did want your opinion on ARC. I'd be tempted to email you sometimes, but it always end up working out. The shows where I want you to come on is like you can read my mind and you hop on and we end up doing a little de facto one-on-one.
I mean, I'll say this as I'm warming everything up over on Mixler, that we got to get out of this, and I'm talking to black men now. We're going to deal with black women in a minute. I'm talking to black men. We got to get out of this fucked up mindset that we have. One of those fucked up mindsets is the idea of, forget scarcity. Let me put that on the side for a minute. I want to talk about just thinking small. We think so fucking small, man.
Mm-hmm.
We do. This is the reason why we're so interested in people. Great people talk about ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Average people talk about events. Less than average people talk about other people. Where do black men fit in that? Based on what we've seen over the past week alone on the world's largest social media platform, where do black men slot? Great people, average people, less than average people.
Yeah. It is a lot of talking about people. I try to keep it as close to the merits as I possibly can. The only time I think is in bounds to touch on somebody's personal, if their personal is directly conflicting with what they're saying, then I can say it's understandable to touch on it. That's why, because of what allegedly your personal shit allegedly. That's why people are touching on that. And I said, hey, they can have at that, because when Cynthia G personal shit dropped that conflicted with her, okay, you could have that. So when somebody personal shit dropped, I think David Carroll laid this out. If their personal life is in contradiction with what they're currently saying, then people can have at it. But other than that, just outright, just on the personal thing, I don't do with that. I try to pick apart people's arguments And when you're picking up,
Go ahead. Now, what do you think of seeing?
All right, I gotta run, man.
What does
Peace.
okay, yeah. Catch you on Mixler, Obsidian. But yeah, I try to keep it on people's arguments as much as possible. But Obsidian had to run. Oh man, that threw off my programming in a good way. But I did want to hear his take on that whole ARC versus Ramil debate. Going forward with what we got here, the topic of the show: are we only talking about ratchet women? I'll try to run through this quick and then open up the panel for y'all. That's one of the charges that have been thrown at the manosphere, that we are just talking about ratchet women. All of this critiquing of women behavior, that's the only thing we're doing here. We're really just talking about ghetto ratchet women. Why y'all talking about ratchet women all the time if y'all don't even like ratchet women? Okay, well, let's deal with that. Let's examine if it is true that all we talking about is ratchet women. Let's look at the things that we're talking about and see, does this strictly apply to ratchet women? Now, I just had Obsidian on here, and Obsidian has been critiqued and criticized and for bringing up articles from Essence magazine, stuff from Madame Noir, For Harriet, the Grapevine, all of that. Why does he do that? And why have I done that? Because those are educated, sophisticated Black women who are saying things about Black men. And when you go after the educated, sophisticated Black women that are saying things about Black men, you are then arguing with the best of Black women, so to speak, the best in a certain context. But however, if somebody is making all their content about shit like the woman who cut her kid's hair off because she didn't like where the baby daddy took the kid, or who the baby daddy let do the kid hair, so she cut the hair off, or the woman that was twerking at her son's graduation, if that's all somebody's content is, yeah, they are just swinging at that low-hanging fruit. They are doing that, but that's not what I do. That's not what I like to do. And really, that's what Tommy Sotomayor does, but that's not what Obsidian does. I like when somebody, and people get criticized for that, but I like when people go after the more intellectual, so-called intellectual, or the more sophisticated arguments that come from Black women. But a lot of the things that we talk about, they're not so much about ratchet women. When I gave the comparison, when I talked about how with some women, let the general, are you there? Because I know you've been waiting a while. You probably not. Okay, cool. Yeah, you were sitting there for a while. I didn't know if you were actually ready. I didn't want to bring you up and you off mute and you having a personal conversation with somebody.
No, man, I'm good. I was just listening into what you guys were talking about and give me a second. Let me cut. So I was watching ESPN actually, but what you're talking about? Do we only talk about ratchet women? No. And see, this is something that I had a conversation with George Macon with shortly last night over on Gab Talk Media. Right? Shout out to Gab.
Yeah, I saw a small piece of that, then I had to move on.
Shout out to Gab. See, here's what's happening. You got a lot of Black folks. They and it's okay. And it's not a shot at George at all. I really enjoy talking to George, and it can get contentious at times because he's a very opinionated man, as am I. Here it is. You got some brothers that will say, well, if you speak on women in any way other than saying that they are Black women are God, then you're complaining. No, you have to ask yourself real quick. If I belong to a group, right? Let's say I belong to a group of Black men and a group of Black women, and all of a sudden, all of the women are leaving the group. We have to stop as a group of Black men and say, wait a minute, why all our women are leaving? Why are all our women want to exit this group? What are we doing over here that's causing? And this is the hard facts, Bernard, and people don't want to talk about it, and I get it. Why are all of the women wanting to leave our group? Why? And then when they start making their complaints valid, what we do is we say, well, that ain't true. That ain't true. It's not us. No, it might not be you as a particular member of the group, but it may be other men within that group that's causing the women not to want to stick around. How hard? I don't understand why people can't get that. This is why when we talk about these things that are detrimental to the community, you got some people that don't want to talk about it because they want to keep that on the down low. And particularly women, they want to keep that shit out of the limelight. They want to say, well, it ain't me. Well, might not be talking about you. Okay?
Right.
I'm talking about the millions of other women that coexist within this group other than yourself, right? So they got to keep it pushed down so they can keep it hidden, so they can keep running the same old bullshit game. Okay? That's like, I'll go back to my example that I just set forth. Give me a moment and I'm going to pass the mic back to you. That's just like my example that I just set forth. All right, you take a group of 200 black men and women, 100 black women, 100 black men. If 50 or 60 of, I'll say 30 or 40 of the black, we leaving the group, we don't want nothing to do with y'all, here's why. We don't then get to say, oh, y'all just bullshit, y'all complaining about nothing. No, we must take an internal look to see what the problems are. So that we can keep them, hopefully, so that we can rectify the problem and keep them within the group. Black women don't want to do that. Hence is why you have SYSBM. Hence is why you have Passport. I've been working on some content for this, man, and it's coming real soon. And I hope that it opens some eyes up both on the men and the women side of the game so that we can stop all of this complaining. Black men, you're just complaining. You're just complaining. No, that we're sick and tired of dealing with the bullshit, as was black women. That's what they did. But the difference is they stuck to their guns. See, they entrenched and hardened their battle position. You don't have a job, nigga, I ain't fucking with you. You ain't got no car, nigga, I ain't fucking with you. You don't have your own place to live, nigga, I ain't fucking with you. What you mean come to your homeboy house, your mama house, your brother house? I ain't fucking with you. I don't fuck with no broke ass nigga that ain't got his own shit. We live in different times. I'll pass the mic, brother. I don't want to hog it this morning.
All right, well, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna throw out something because they say we only talking about ratchet women. I want to talk about some things that women tend to do. Well, black women in general. We're talking about black women here, but a lot of women do this. But we're talking about black women. I want to say, let me know: is this a behavior only of ratchet women, or all black women, or not all black women, but black women of any type? Will fall for this behavior. When I talk about the you go left, she go right thing, and what I meant by that is how you could be with a woman, and just metaphorically speaking, you could want to go left. Going left could make more sense. She wants to go right, so she tries to push against your going left so she could go right, and then you try to put your foot down and say, no, we need to go left, even though you know and she know going left makes more sense. But she gonna fight against you, complain, cry, bitch, moan, do whatever she got to do to try to get you to bend on with your principle, what you was trying to do, and get you to go right, and then you go right with her because you didn't want to see her sad, didn't want to see her upset. You did it to appease her, to make her happy, and then she turned around and look at that thing right there as, okay, I just punked this nigga, and now she feel like she could run you, and she gonna try to eat you alive after that. Is that wrangling banshees thing that we talked about? It's gonna turn into a situation like that. Now that right there, what I just described, do only ratchet women do that?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not, Bernard. Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
This we know what this whole entire thing, and thanks for having me on, brother.
Absolutely.
Peace to everybody on the panel. This whole thing about people being ratchet. Hey, what's the word, G's? This whole thing about it only applying to the so-called ratchet women. No, this applies to those in corporate America, all the way down to the ones over there on Dan Wright Avenue. You know what I mean? Because it's a mentality. It has nothing to do. If that's the case, the ones who deem themselves to be a part of the upper echelon, they still have a percentage of ratchetness. And though it may be smaller, it tends to overtake their better judgment and cause them to participate in fuckery, and make that be the forefront, and make that be the way of, like you mentioned with the example you just provided, that's punking somebody. A man using some logic and saying, all right, I'm gonna compromise because I don't feel like going back and forth with it. 'Cause that's our thing. In our minds, we thinking, what's the quickest way to get this motherfucker to shut up?
Mm-hmm.
That's all we want, because it interferes with our damn inner peace. Okay. Oh, okay, cool. All right. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah, you can have it. Sure. Yeah. And then if in her ungrateful ass mind, if she's thinking, okay, I punked him or I got him, well, that's when you gotta turn around and hit her with the okie doke. And then they'll say, well, that's game
I
and
thought you
all
were going
this
to
good
say that's
stuff.
when you got to turn around and hit her.
No, I ain't
No,
gonna do the game like that.
no, not
No,
that.
no, no,
Not
no, no.
that.
I ain't gonna do the
No,
game like that.
RJ ain't, he ain't co-signing that.
This ain't that show, man. It ain't the wrong show. I remember when you told me about your marriage. You said she had you on that
No,
breaking
man.
point.
No. We ain't gonna do the sisters like that, man. No. Not on no
I
damn.
know she
Not
had
no
you on
damn.
the edge, RJ. I know.
Yeah. Not on the talking. They gotta do a little bit more. They gotta do a little bit more for that. For the people's elbow. But anyways, we get this. So yeah, that's the thing, man. And then and then if that's punking someone, this is Bernard. This is why we know what people have been asking for all this time isn't truly what they want. It's not truly what they desire, because um, they want you to be Shane Sung, man. They want you to mold to whatever the preference is at that moment. They want your ass to shape shift to whatever it is at that moment that's necessary. And we're gonna mix in the leader by proxy with it. We're gonna mix in, leadership by proxy with it. And we're gonna mix in some of this whole, um, you know, what they call it being jazzy. But that's an excuse for the women who want to separate themselves from the ratchetness. Because guess what? You being so-called jazzy and all that dumb shit, that is a form of ratchet behavior and fuckery. So they think being ratchet is just bottom of the barrel behavior. The stuff that we're seeing on World Star. It really, at the epicenter of all of it, it's just bad behavior, and it doesn't have to be just outright bad behavior. It could just be your combativeness, just like in that scenario you just outlined. But I'll concede the floor for now.
Women at
Can
every
I add on to that?
every economic level. Real quick, let me respond to GA Boy, because GA Boy, that's my man. But I like when he throw in a little pushback. I like when he do that. He says, if she respects you, she will follow you. The reason that's not accurate is because that implies that there's no such thing as a selfish woman, a woman who doesn't reciprocate, a woman who doesn't appreciate the things that a man is doing for her. So you just can't make a blanket statement that if she respects you, she'll follow you. A woman could very well respect you, but she could just be a bad woman. She could be a bitch.
She'll still conduct her own shit test.
Yeah, a woman is going to conduct herself the way she conduct herself based on her character. It's no one size fits all. If she respects you, she'll follow you. If you lead, she'll follow you. If you're masculine, she'll be feminine. No, she's going to be what she is, because that's just what the fuck she is. The idea is to get with the women who are not like that. But to try to say that a woman who's not like that, but if she respects you, she will somehow not be like that. That's you're making you can turn a ratchet into a Disney princess if you're masculine enough. Like, no, that's not.
Yeah, you're ignoring the fact that women conduct shit tests on men.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is a form of a shit test. All right, it's her kind of checking your, she's basically gauging. It's an ongoing gauging of your leadership competency, I guess, in their view. My question is, so there's two sides to all of this, right? There's what women require or what they want and how they go about getting it. And then there's what men want, what they require and how they go about getting it. Right. So I'll just use my, myself as an example. I never knew I was actually mode 1. I never knew that. But I'm not like quote unquote mode 1 in that ARC sense, right? I don't do the mouthpiece thing. I'm just upfront and honest, right? Because I don't like drama, and I don't think like if I'm going to be dealing with someone on a personal level, there should be drama involved in it. So being honest negates a lot of potential drama. Right. So it's
but hold
kind
on,
of like,
are you really, do you, really be approaching women for,
no,
fast,
that's what I mean.
turnaround, casual sex situations, or?
Well, if I know that, like, really, dude, I'm just kind of, I'm game for just like some friends with benefits type shit. Dude, that's all I'm gonna go for. And that's all I'm gonna put out there. Right. So it's not even going to lead to some sort of, you know, situation where she thinks I'm lying or some shit. Well, here's what happens, man. That does happen. Like the whole sort of like, you know, feelings start to get in the mix, right? And then I'm like, but you already know what we said this was. And here's the thing, right? It's always like true. You know, I just thought maybe, you know, there might be something more. And I'll be honest with them, man. I'll just be like, well, you know, I kind of told you what my situation was from the jump. You know, I'm just not in the headspace for a relationship. You know, I'm coming out of a marriage and everything, widowed and all that. I'm being real. You know, so they respect it. And so I kind of don't really see a problem with it.
Well, if you've been around for any insurmountable amount of time, then I think that I think most men, most good, upstanding men, come to the realization that I don't have to fucking lie if you had, you know,
Exactly.
if you haven't had a lot of issues with attracting, getting, and maintaining relationships, or just attracting and getting and having sex with women. All right. So one thing that I learned very early on, I learned this back in college. Just be honest. Hey, look. Hey, what's up? What it is? Hey, look, I'm not looking for a relationship. I don't want a girlfriend. I'm just out here. I'm dating. I'm having fun or whatever. You know, we could go out. We can have fun. We can go back to the spot and do what we're gonna do, and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Just be honest, and you will find as a man, the more you're honest with women, the more they are likely to just say, okay, that's cool with me. You understand what I'm saying?
Or say no, but still keep it cool.
Right.
They won't get offended by it.
Right. You know, this whole thing about brothers lying, all my kids, man, I ain't never had to lie to a woman just to get sex or nothing else from them.
And can I add on
I've
to
never
that?
had to do that. I've never had to use anything that I had or none of that. I'm gonna pass the mic. None of that. You know, that's a talking point for some of these brothers who have had that issue of getting women, and that's a projection to me, twin man. That's a projection to me. That's what that is.
All right, go ahead, Leo Anthony. But I do want to get your perspective on that. And she says everyone performs a shit test. Well, Leo Anthony going to go, and then we're going to deal with that. Well, no, real quick. I just want to bounce around real fast. When y'all are in relationships with a woman, are y'all shit testing her on a regular?
Fuck no. I don't have time to shit test a woman.
Are they?
No, most men don't have time.
I don't have no time to be shit testing a woman, dude. I don't know what Sister George is talking about.
Yes, that's a woman thing. The only way a guy is shit testing a woman if it's early on and he trying to see what he can get. That's
what I was about to say, Bernard. Usually it's early on. You find out what makes them tick. You find out certain things.
But no, it's normal.
You know, but
the shit test is normally a very practical shit test, like, you know, y'all out on the first date and you may, you know, in a flirty way hint about her coming to your house and then read her reaction and see if she and see if she kind of laugh and lean in with you with it.
I guess we're calling that a shit test.
You know,
are we calling that a shit test?
I'm saying that's the most shit test that I know.
Right. Exactly. Right, that's the highest. That's the highest degree. Or you saying something, you know, you get a reaction out the individual. But yeah, it's typically not throughout the. It's not something like ongoing, and it's not on the same degree. It's not on the same level where it's like, okay, you didn't have to jump through some hurdles, some obstacles, you know, to get to the end result.
Their shit test is just a poking and prodding, fucking with you because they get a dopamine hit from doing that shit. They need it.
Absolutely.
But we got to go, Leo Anthony. I don't even know if you really got to lay out what you Go ahead. You got the mic. Whatever's on your mind, whatever you was waiting to say. Because I know we cut you off a couple times.
Right, with the pump and dump thing, you know, I believe as a man you can pump and dump responsibly. I was saying that I agree with the general complex design. I ain't never had to lie to a female if I just wanted something casual. I was always upfront and honest about it. And usually when you're honest about it, you deal with less drama from women because they really don't have no reason to turn up on you and do some fuck shit to you. And then I was going to agree with something you said earlier, that it still is a pump and dumping, even if you're not lying, because when you end the situation with a woman, if they catch feelings, sometimes they just take it as you dumped them. Even if, you know, you told them from the jump that this is just a casual situation. So I think that a lot of people are just saying pump and dumping is lying to someone to get sex and then dumping them. No, you can pump and dump other ways. Like you can pump and dump by tricking. To me, tricking is a way of pump and dumping responsibly too, because you're not getting to anything serious, and you're pretty much just only doing like a one-time thing with the chick.
All facts. Yes, sir,
So
brother Leo Anthony.
I don't know why people act like they can't comprehend that you can pump and dump responsibly without lying. That's the key part. You can do it without lying. Now, there's some dudes who do operate that way, but I don't think that that's what we're saying. Why you shouldn't or should not pump and dump. We're just saying that you should pump and dump responsibly. Like for me, I pumped and dumped because I knew that I wasn't really ready to be in a serious relationship. I knew if I would have tried to get into a committed relationship, I would have cheated. So I was like, okay, I got to get this out of my system. So I'm going to just go have my fun. And when I get out that phase, then I'll get into a relationship and take it seriously. And that's what I did. I've never cheated on a female because by the time I got to a relationship, I already pumped and dumped most of the females that I kind of wanted to sleep around with anyway. So sex didn't mean that much to me. I actually genuinely cared about a relationship and settling down. So you can pump and dump responsibly until you're ready for something serious. And I don't understand why people just don't get that concept.
Because they don't understand the concept of consensual sex, dude.
Ooh.
Right. And it's not pump and dump if you merely say, hey, this is what it is. I don't want a relationship. And see what happens is that's the shit testing. You could tell a woman, I've had this happen to me. Hey, look, okay, cool. We can kick it. We can hang out. We can date or whatever. But just keep in mind, I do see other women and I'm not ready for a relationship. Women take that instinctively as to say, oh, I can change your mind and I'm going to change your mind. You're going to be mine. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you off the market. And then that's when the problem comes in with the pump and dump, because you've already told her up front, but in the back of their minds is, I could get him. I could change him. And then when it doesn't pan out, they're angry. Well, he told you from the gate. And now you got to go talk about emotions. Well, women get emotionally invested. It's not my fault. I told you from day one.
And
now,
you agreed.
Can I say
and you agreed. We had agreements.
Sister George said something in the comments. She said you can't get the same amount of vagina with honesty. And honestly, that's true.
You can't.
You really can't.
If you lie,
that's a lie.
No, if you lie, if you lie and tell women what they want to hear, you can get as much vagina as you want as possible.
Right.
Because I've been upfront honest with some chicks that, hey, I'm not ready for anything serious, and they just stopped dealing with me. But if I would have lied and told them what they wanted to hear, I probably would have got the pussy.
Not really, though. Hold on, Leo, check this out. If you would have lied and told them what you wanted to hear, I'm assuming that you mean you would have told them that you are interested in a long-term relationship. That's not going to make a woman instantly have sex with you. She's going to more likely look at you as somebody who's just, if anything, that may lower your value in her eyes, because unless he just was extremely attracted to you, that may lower your value, because she's going to look at you as a guy who don't got nothing going on, just coming to America, rose petals at her feet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no. I think what he's saying is that if he would have went that route, right, it increases the probability of it happening. Because you're kind of you're assuaging what they want ideally, right? So if you actually did that, then you could probably get further than if her mind, she's thinking ideally, that's kind of what she wants. But I really like this guy. So if all he's saying is that he's just going to give me some good dick on a regular basis, well, I'll take that.
Okay. Hold on real quick. This is what I've argued.
See,
if you tell a woman that you're looking for a relationship, you were looking for a long-term relationship that you hope end in marriage, and you come out hat in hand, roses behind your back, you're coming on, you're giving her a lot of good guy energy, and the girl is going to be a good girl for the good guy, a bad girl for the bad guy. So whatever sex you think you're going to get, it's going to be prolonged. She's not going to hop right in bed to you with you if you're coming out giving relationship energy out the gate. So you're prolonging the possibility of that sex.
You
But you
wouldn't. I
may
don't.
get it, but
Hang on.
you will only get it in the context of a relationship, and
Right,
then
Leo.
you're in that shitty situation where you do have to actually pump and dump.
Hang on. Here's the thing. Like, to me, there's like maybe like two types of women. There are women that are okay with having casual sex, and then there are women that are only okay with having sex in a relationship. Now, if I come across a chick, if I
No,
come across a
no,
chick,
no.
no. If I come across a chick, because there are some good girls like that. If I come across a chick that is like she's only having sex in a relationship, and I really want to have sex with her, then I could be that fuck boy and just pretend to go along with it to get the sex, and then just kind of dip out of it when I see the chance. So
I hate to break it to you, big dog. You got when you say there's two different types of women, then some that want to. I mean, yes, okay. There are some that want a relationship and only want sex in the context of a committed relationship, and there are some that want sex in a casual and who accept sex outside of the context of a relationship. What you got to understand is those two women, they're the same woman depending on the guy that's in front of them. So that's why you can't draw a line in the sand like that. There's a small percentage that just don't do casual sex. But
but if you're willing to
I
die,
know
you
if
get
I
the
put it like
sex
this,
either way.
let me say it like this. If a woman does not want to have casual sex with me, all that means is she doesn't want to have casual sex with me. If she doesn't want to have sex with me after the first date, that means she doesn't want to have sex with me after the first date. That don't mean that somebody else later that week or that prior week before I was trying didn't get it early on. So that's why you can never draw a hard line in the sand like that. They have a sliding moral scale depending on the guy that's in front of them
Exactly.
or depending on how good your game was. Because that woman who you said that you may try to, get some casual sex from, and then she may say no. Well, what if you would have talked to her the right way, rubbed her the right way, invited her to your house at the right moment, at the right time, and she came over and you had the I don't know, the right candles lit, the right music playing in the background, the exact wine that she liked, and shit can happen even with that woman who said she don't want sex. She only wants sex in the context of a relationship. Seduction is a real thing. So that's why
It
you
is.
never draw that hard of a line, because I'm telling you, and I wasn't the best at that seduction game. I was actually horrible at it. I had to work on it just to get okay at it. But the times when I pulled it off, I was like, God damn, this woman who told me that I wasn't getting a kiss until like the sixth date, we had a threesome like 30 days later, and we was fucking after like 3 days. That was seduction. So it can happen.
So you gotta ask a question to the ladies, if there are any ladies that are watching in the chat. The Omari Hardwick character, ghost type guys standing in front of them obviously gets the panties wet. You know by how popular the show is. So those type of dudes, if you want to talk about those type of men versus whomever, right? It don't matter. They get the panty, you know what I'm saying? It's panty drop time. You understand what I'm saying? And this has been something you can go back and look at throughout history, man. Athletes, actors, entertainers, men with money, men with power. Yeah, it could be a motherfucker that's coming just fresh out of the goddamn nunnery, or the what is it? What is it called that the nuns do? The monastery or whatever. They could be coming fresh all out of being a nun, or trying to go into being a nun, and they'll drop their panties for them type brothers. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You got to understand how the game is played. That's the shit test. I've
Right.
had women to
Not
try that shit. I've had women to try that shit test shit.
I understand that, but my thing is like with the lying part is that when you tell women that I was upfront and honest with women and I still got sex, some of them don't believe you. Some of them think you had to lie to get the pussy, and they always just try to make it seem that way. So, you know,
What's lying when you tell a woman, "Hey, look, I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I'm just out here kind of dating," and then we have sex, and now she want to say that you dumped her. because you didn't call her back within the 2 days or the 3 days
Right.
or the
Well,
required time that they
they'll,
got.
they'll probably
What's
say
lying?
that.
How are you lying? My question to you is, young man, how are you lying if you tell a woman day one, sight on scene, as you sit down at the table with her first date out, hey, look, I'm not looking for a girlfriend. First phone conversation, hey, look, I'm not looking for anything serious right now. For whatever the reason, I just got out of a relationship, a marriage, whatever. I'm just not looking for a relationship. I'm just dating. And then you get to the sex 2 days, 3 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month later, and now all of a sudden is he ain't shit. He dumped me. It don't work that way because he told you 30 days prior to you laying down with him, he wasn't looking for a relationship. Where's the lie in that?
Well, it's a blow to
Can
the
I speak
ego.
to this?
It's a,
Can I
you
speak
can
to
hold
this
on. You
real
can you
quick?
can wait your
it's
turn.
a
You
it's
can
a
wait
blow
your
to the
turn.
ego
Oh, I'm sorry.
because women are not really used
Queen
to being.
Elizabeth in this. I'm just playing. You just did a tuck
No, because I
roll.
had a quick point. I had a quick point. A
Yeah,
quick
you
point.
always do. Here's the shit test. Now watch. See,
Yeah, you shit testing the whole panel.
Shit test coming in 3, 2, 1.
No, here's the
Okay.
manipulation. Watch the
She about to throw
manipulation.
the
No. Oh,
grenade.
okay. No. I'm gonna say this real quick, and
No,
I'm gonna
just
be
wait
done.
your turn. Wait your turn. The brother was speaking. Wait your turn. Go ahead, brother.
I was gonna
Stop with the
say
bullshit.
Thank you, General.
they assume you're lying when you saying that you was honest and upfront with a woman about just being casual because they can't handle rejection or being dumped. So when the situation doesn't go their way, they'll lie and be disingenuous and tell their friends that you led them on and you fucked them over to make themselves be the victim in that situation. So that's what I was trying to say with that.
All right.
Okay, Danielle, you're
Hey,
up.
good. How are you?
See, now she
Q,
ain't
I
shit.
Not yet.
I
That's the
think you got
bullshit.
background noise. Q.
Because it's so hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. But Gail.
So do y'all see the manipulation now? Now it's her turn, but she want to talk to everybody else.
Yeah, that's her background noise. I thought that was yours.
No, it
I
wasn't mine.
will.
I'm on mute.
So she
Thank
didn't.
you.
She done came in, just done kicked down the door,
Thank
came in with a fucking marching band behind her, and it just to interrupt the show. You dropping kids off at daycare?
No, if y'all had to let me talk. If y'all had to let me talk.
Shit.
No. But the point that I wanted to make to Q was this. It's not a fact.
Oh. You know how they say that women come on to try to derail the show on purpose. Can anybody hear her, or did she just stop?
I think we're being shit tested right now.
I do believe that. I do believe that they say, they say it all the time. Quit letting women on the panels. They just come to disrupt the conversation, to just flip everything up on its head, to get y'all off the scent, to get y'all further away from the truth. That's all they're doing. Don't let them in the chat room. Take away the wrenches.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
We could hear you the first 5 times.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Here we go.
Okay, let me just make this quick point. The problem isn't a man telling a woman that he wants to have sex with her and that just being the transaction. And the woman doesn't develop feelings out of nowhere for the man, and so she calls foul. The problem is a lot of men will keep up a consistency with a woman. And if you're calling her every day, you're kissing her in the mouth, you're eating her vagina, and then I'm gonna get to that part because a lot of y'all should stop doing that during casual sex. But it's like y'all do all of these things and you keep up a consistency with the woman and then you pull away after you're done with her. And so then that's when she starts to develop feelings because there was some consistency. Now, if you fucked a woman and you didn't really kiss her in the mouth and you kissed her on the neck maybe and you didn't eat her vagina, and you don't call her every fucking day, she's probably not going to develop feelings. That's the only point I wanted to make.
You know what, Danielle? I will
Oh,
definitely. Hold on. I got to reach across the aisle and say that's a fair point that I did learn the hard way, that when you're engaging in that casual sex relationship, you have to make an effort to make sure that the interactions stay casual. And if you're that type of guy like me, like I I like to cuddle. You can't be in a casual sex situation and you cuddling and shit after sex, and
Oh, Teddy Ruxpin ass.
yeah, so I had to realize is when the casual sex is gradually coming to an end, and they like, hold on, I'm in love now. I mean, okay, I did. I mean, I did some things. It wasn't a deliberate manipulative. I'm trying to make her fall in love with me so I can hurt her type of thing. But it was just the way that I just conducted myself in that casual sex situation that I had to step back, look at myself, and say, you know what? She got feelings, but I can't exactly 100% blame her. Even I mean, the last time that it happened, that made me really look at it and say, whoa, this was with a chick who she told me repeatedly, like she made sure going in, because she was. I'm not going to describe her situation, but she was letting me know 100%, like pounding her fist on the table. Do not get hooked. Do not fall in love. This is just casual sex. This is, friends with benefits. And I'm like, you speaking my language, because that's where I was at that point in my life. But but either way it go, she fell in love, and then I tried to pull it up. Wait, hold on. You the one said this was casual sex, but then I had to look back at it. Okay, damn, I was a real. I was cuddling 2 hours after the sex and shit. I can't be doing that just casual. I'm doing forehead kisses and shit. I'm massaging feet and shit.
Oh, y'all ain't shit.
But that was when I was gradually realizing I ain't really cut out for this, casual thing, because I do got a big heart, so I was like, let me get off this casual sex game. But at the same, so that's one area where I can agree with you that if a guy is in that casual situation but he being too lovey-dovey, he's kind of complicit in her falling in love. I'll reach across the aisle and give you
y'all
that.
snatching souls and then talking about y'all want to be friends. I wish the. Okay,
You know
I gotta
what,
go
Sister
now.
George? You know what? I don't want to hear all that shit. Y'all sign up for it, right? Y'all sign up for it. So when you get it, don't
I'm
complain
trying
about
to
it.
figure out why you stabbed at
Who
4 o'clock in the morning.
who was that talking? Who said y'all signed up for it? Was that Leo? Who was that?
That sounded like Complex.
Who was that talking?
That was me.
Okay, yeah, see, complex, cold-blooded with it.
I'm trying to figure out why she done bust the windows out your car. Yeah, all right.
No, I had a chick throwing rocks at the windows of my townhouse.
I ain't simping, David Monroe. I ain't simping.
What you do?
You want to see when that happens. Oftentimes what happens is you want to blame the men for the instability of women.
That's true.
You shouldn't have put that. You shouldn't have put that dick on her. You shouldn't have touched that little knob at the base of her fucking pussy. Then
That's
she
true
wouldn't be
too.
out there throwing rocks at you. You did that. That's
Because
bullshit. They
No.
have a,
she was
they're
hold on.
unstable.
Let me make it clear.
Guilty as
You gonna
charged.
kill me.
She was in there snatching souls too. So I mean,
Right.
I didn't fall
The
in
thing
love.
is, like,
I have
But
no
she
ability.
wasn't paying for dates and pursuing you. See, y'all will pay for
No,
dates,
hold
pursue the
on.
woman,
Hold
and
on,
then
hold
be
on.
like,
Right,
we're
but
just
she was
friends.
This was
right.
a casual situation that I described that, I admitted a little too much cuddling after the sex could have contributed to her falling in love. But the fact of the matter is, everything that you saying I was doing to her, she was doing it to me too. So we can step back and say that, hey, you was in here doing all of this. I didn't fall in love. You did.
But
That's
she was
your
doing
bad.
it to make you fall in love with her.
No, she wasn't. She was consistent that it was casual sex until it wasn't.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now you do have hoes who will go above and beyond, right? But
Mhm.
to be honest, even with them, they do want a certain type of reciprocation as it pertains to men. When they do certain things for a man, like if a woman is giving you head and she's catching it and shit like that, she ain't doing it just because she like to do that shit. She doing it because she wants something else from you. And
No, that's
so when
bullshit.
you hold a certain type of
Bullshit.
consistency,
bullshit.
That
okay.
is bullshit. That is bullshit.
So you think a woman just runs around catching it because she just wants to be your best friend?
No,
She
I
wants
think
to.
when a
She
No,
woman,
I
wants
think
multiple
some women
dicks.
just like doing that.
I think when a woman like a dude and she feeling
Um,
the dude and she's sexually aroused
yeah,
by a
like I
dude,
said,
she
when
want
she
to get
likes
it
the
in.
dude.
She want to
But if
get it
she
in.
likes you, is it really casual? If she likes you,
liking can be many
Yes,
things.
that's the
It can
basis of it. Yes.
yeah, I mean, it can manifest itself in many ways, but the most, I mean, look, women, when it comes to casual sex, y'all are very visual and physical, and y'all know what y'all want, and y'all know what type of dude y'all want to come by at night and knock it out. So let's not play with that one. Y'all do want sex. Y'all don't
Yeah, I'm not saying that a
hold on,
woman
but this is what
doesn't
you're doing.
want
This is what you're doing.
sex.
Hold on, this is what you're doing. You're making it seem like women are only using the sex as a tactical means to an end. No, they get horny at night and they need a dick in their vagina, and that's just what it is. And if they find
I'm not saying that I feel like that is a part of it, but if a woman is going out of her way to do the extras and she's telling you it's casual sex, but she's doing the extras
what
and
are you
there is
defining by
some
extra?
consistency.
What's
What are you
extra?
defining as extra?
If she's sucking and she's doing whatever you want sexually, God, I'm gonna
Then,
get
then
you.
yeah, they're
That's
doing that from the rip.
a
Then
Maybe
yeah,
she's doing that because she likes sex. She gets off. She
Right.
wants to put on a good
Exactly.
performance. I like to put on a good show.
Sure,
So I mean,
sure,
damn, like why wouldn't you?
come
sure,
on, God.
Okay,
sure.
so you don't like. Okay, now
Guys,
I'm not gonna go there.
hey, come on.
I'm saying from a woman's perspective. I'm saying from a woman's perspective, women do use a lot of women, majority of women do use certain things as it
Damn it, I
pertains
don't
to
want
sex
this
to an
shit,
end,
man.
and that's all I'm gonna say
Fuck.
about it. And now I gotta
If
go.
you
Bye,
single
Care
you
about
y'all.
this
single
shit.
out on the market, you
nah,
get
she
Morris
ain't gotta go.
Chestnut. If you get Morris
I do have
Chestnut
to
in
go.
your bedroom, you and that bitch butt naked doing cartwheels. You so don't make it seem like
And if I
you
did,
gonna.
if God forbid me and Curlin broke up and I ended up with Morris Chestnut, if I was doing certain things, if it's Morris Chestnut, I'm gonna be doing certain shit to. If I was doing
Hold on,
certain
Q. Let me mute
things,
you.
if it's Morris Chestnut, I'm gonna be doing certain shit to.
All right, I just muted you. Go ahead. So now you're about to
Okay.
tell me that Morris Chestnut, all that Morris Chestnutness in front of you, you're going to be only doing it as a means to an end. No, you're going to be trying to get off as much as you can get off because y'all like to get
I'm
off.
saying if it's Morris Chestnut, let's be honest. Morris Chestnut is a paid Hollywood actor
Okay,
who
a nigga that
has
looks like him.
so I'm saying if you're saying that women are hypergamous by nature,
No,
then there are certain
take
you
his
don't
money
think
off. Hold on. Take his money off the table. Just a nigga that look like whatever a nigga ideally looks like.
it
That's how
doesn't
you like
mean
a dude to look.
anything. It
Okay, so
doesn't
now
mean anything.
you're on here pretending like you don't just like sex. Like you
I
just
didn't say no. You're trying. You can like sex, but if you're dealing with a certain type of man, you're gonna use a certain type of man for sex, and then you're gonna use another type of man for resources.
Well,
Let's be
there
exactly.
you
You
have
serious.
it.
just lost.
And so if
You
I'm
just
sitting here
conceded
saying it,
defeat.
don't sit here and act like I'm trying to lie or I'm trying to shit test you guys. Oh my gosh.
No, no,
I
no.
think
It's
you just
not a
conceded
shit
defeat
test.
when you said you will
It,
use a certain type of man for sex. That man that you're
that
just
Yeah,
using for sex,
okay.
you're going to break out all the sexual
but
kinks for. Therefore, you
no,
just lost.
no,
You
you
admitted
don't
it.
have
You
to. No, no,
conceded
no,
defeat.
no, no.
You're basically
You're
saying
missing a
you're
key
not.
point.
Hold on.
You're missing a key point,
You're
though. You're
basically
missing a
saying
key point.
you're not going to bring out. You're not
Let
going to.
me explain. Let me
You're
explain what I'm
basically
saying, so you
saying
don't have to.
you're
No, let me explain what I'm saying, so you don't have to interpret it.
okay.
Please let
Let
Go
me
ahead.
explain it.
let her the whole thing.
If you're using a certain type of man for sex, if you're using a certain type of man for sex and that's just what it is and that's it and there's no consistency, there's no nothing, that man doesn't have anything to offer you. Yeah, most women, I'm not going to even say most women will have those
No,
types
no,
of
no. Go ahead and
partners.
say it.
Let me
Say
finish
most
my
women. Say
point.
most women.
No,
Say
let
most
me
women,
finish
please.
my point. Let me finish my point. Women will use that guy for sex, but what I'm saying is she may not do all the things that she would do if a guy has resources. That's all I'm saying. If a guy has resources and a woman wants those resources, she's more likely to do more things sexually and to be more sexually free because a guy has resources. That's
Okay,
all
I
I'm
if
saying.
don't.
she
I
okay,
disagree with that because when
if she's a tactical woman who's looking at a guy with resources as a means to an end, she will break out different behaviors. That's what I said. They have a sliding moral scale depending on the guy that's in front of them. But if they just meet that guy who just looked the way they need a guy to look, and then you physically attracted to him, and you just want to have sex with him, you're going to break out all your sexual kink because you're going to keep that guy who's good at hitting that spot just right. You're going to keep him happy. You're going to keep him coming back, and he's going to keep you coming back, and y'all going to be doing all kind of kinky, freaky shit together. You know that's how it works. You know that's how it goes.
Danielle know that's the truth.
Like
Look.
you're playing hide the ball.
Um,
You're playing hide the ball right now.
Danielle know
Well,
that's the truth.
no, I don't know anything. I just said what I felt like the truth was, and that was that's from a woman's perspective.
I don't think.
And I
Wait,
hope you guys.
Now she pleading the fifth.
Real
I'm
quick,
not pleading
before
anything.
I go to David Monroe, the title of this show is "Are We Only Talking About Ratchet Women?" This whole conversation that we're having, I believe we're having it with a non-ratchet woman, and we're talking about behaviors that non-ratchet women engage in. So this whole conversation is also proving the point that we're not just on here talking about ratchet women when we're talking about women. We're talking about things that the majority of women do. I'm gonna go to David Monroe, and I got Spiritual Logic, aka Hawk, in the building. If somebody wants to drop,
I'm out, y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Retreat. No, just playing. Thanks, Danielle. I like when you come up because I love to debate. It was fun.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right, David Monroe, you got it.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me up. I was actually coming to give Sister George a little bit of backup, which is uncommon for me. But I would say that I think what she was trying to allude to is how transactional sex is, I think, for the average woman. And we probably don't really like to acknowledge it. We even in our red pill minds, we still kind of have a certain idolization for what women are. And I think she was just trying to put us on game in a certain way where it's like, even if you have one night stands with women, right? If you ever had a couple of one night stands and you afterwards ask yourself why she chose you of all people at all, at that time. And I think what you kind of come to the conclusion of, it is not necessarily you. So like she might have wanted to fuck you and all that, but she got some shit in her mind that she working out. And I'm just a guy who I plug the gap for the time being. And so the transaction could be as simple as that. But I don't necessarily think women pursue sex the way men pursue it. Women pursue sex as a trade. It's a bargaining chip almost all the time for a woman. So the idea that she's giving up her sex and getting almost nothing in exchange of value to herself, I don't buy that shit. Women are almost always hustling.
Wait. Can we address the moral sliding?
David Monroe, I know I've been talking too much. Have you ever seen a woman have a real good leg shaking orgasm?
Of course.
I think I can translate.
Then she's getting something, and she needs that, and she wants that.
You.
That guy who can do that. It is more than a fair exchange because my legs don't shake like that during the orgasm. So
Yeah, I think
more. But anyway, let's go.
So why do the handsome guys get baby trapped too?
no, I think I can translate.
That's
I agree.
That's when it gets to the point where she wants to keep him. She wanted to try to keep him and have
She's
control
always
of
planning something, bro. Don't ever think she just fucked you just because. Never assume that you're in free range. You're always in enemy territory.
Look, I think like I agree with Bernard and I agree with Sister George. I think we're saying two different things because women emotionally can call that a relationship, having great sex. And I think women can just have sex for the sake of sex. But I think women, the difference is that men are more, I hate to say this might sound crazy, but men are kind of more honest about sex. And women see a good sex of a more of an emotional relationship. Like they kind of make it a relationship without actually calling it a relationship. If you know what I mean? Like, because
what about this whole sliding moral scale thing?
Yeah, but hold on. When you'll know it, but when you try to leave a woman that's sexually attracted to you on that level, think about it. When you try to leave her, if you try to we can't see each other no more, or you try to be like, I don't want to do this no more, that's when they kind of say, hey, so you don't like me no more? Like they can't handle it just being casual sex if it's not on their terms, if you know what I mean. When it's good.
It's always a bargaining.
Wasn't there an admittance to a moral sliding scale? I mean, there's a goddamn elephant, a fucking 800-pound gorilla sitting in the room here, and we're not fucking even addressing it. The fact that there is such thing as a sliding. Okay, did Sister George just not come up here and just say that? Okay, well, there's the dude that they fucking, and then there's the dude who's papered up, and so we gonna do two different things based on which is which, right?
I
See,
agree with you,
so
but
okay, so let's stop, because what that is, that points to a sign of conscious intent. That's not an emotional based thing. That was a
but
logical.
remember, they're
That's a
not going to be
logical,
honest
rational.
about it.
Dude,
They're
dude,
not
dude,
going to
dude,
be.
dude.
They're not
I
going to be
get it. I
logical and
get it.
honest.
I get it, because that's not what they're basing it on. They're actually basing it on a moral sliding scale. They're not basing it on honesty. See, we're looking at two different concepts, two different
Yeah,
modalities here,
that's what I
right?
agree.
See,
Yeah.
so if I say, well, look, I'm just honest, and like I said, I'm mode one in the sense that I don't sugarcoat shit, but I don't have that ARC mouth. I don't do the mouthpiece shit, right? See, so it just kind of works how it works out for me, and I can't really complain about it. It's just kind of how it works, right?
Yeah, let
However,
me say.
if the pushback from a woman though is like, well, that's just not all that a woman wants. I mean, you act as if they just want this and they just want that. Well, let's look at the modality of how women view all this shit. We just got the Holy Grail, right? Okay, there's this guy and then there's this guy. You see, so if they don't view you as just the dick dude, then yeah, we're gonna apply the moral scale based on what category I'm putting you in. You see, so the thing about it is that they can pick and choose their moral angle, right, based on the guy. It's fluid.
Yeah.
It's not static. It's fluid.
Right.
It can be. They can justify just straight up. Just straight up sex with nothing attached to it, right? They can justify that. They can also justify their feelings getting involved. You got to really think about this shit.
I want to
Yeah,
interject something here. The guy that she wants to just bang, like the guy that she in her mind puts, he's sexual. Her body wants his baby, and she can't shake that shit. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
I
reason
agree.
why that's why all these sexual liaisons have a timestamp on them. You can't do this indefinitely to her body, because if you keep fucking her good, she's gonna want your baby.
Yeah.
Hey, look. See, that's the thing, right? So as a man, right, I have to be responsible with what my gender role assigns for me to do and be, right? Guess what women have to do? The same goddamn thing. So
They never will, though.
Hold on. He onto something.
I reject the notion that a woman is going to be logically as competent as a man in most scenarios. I do not give them the same credit. I expect her to be fucked up and
Hold on, but I don't think that's where he was going. Complex, when you were saying that she got to do her role as a woman, what did you mean by that?
Well, what I'm saying here is that there's the responsible application of our bodies. Okay, and I think that given that you're born into it at a certain part of adulthood, you kind of got it all figured out how it works, right? You see, so that's not really an excuse, now is it? It's your fucking body. Like, you know how this shit works.
You're saying they know their body. They know that they get emotional. They know that they fall in love. So they need to conduct themselves like adults that understand.
If you know all of these things, then
yeah.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Women are not going to do that. And I get what you're saying, Complex, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that women, when they have good sex, they kind of women think about fantasy and ideals, like, oh, he's the exact guy I want to be attracted to, and he has the financial thing that I want. See, here's the thing: when women really want you, it's hard for women to separate to see what's more important in the moment, biology or survival. And in the moment of pleasure, they really can't make logical decisions like that.
Dude, you're not supposed to be making
when
logical decisions in the heat of the moment. You're not. That's not the time to be making logical decisions,
Shoot,
right?
I do.
All the logical decisions are supposed to be made beforehand. That's how you can freely enjoy the sex.
But you're putting it on a woman. But you're putting it on a woman.
It's a base sexual response. This is not logic at all.
See, you're putting it on a woman to actually be logical beforehand. They don't do that because remember, even before they have sex,
I'm putting it on a woman to be responsible and be accountable for her actions.
They're not going to do that, bro. That's
the
issue about women.
Then you know what I told Sister George? I told her this in the chat. I said, look, women need to reconcile this shit for themselves then, because there's nothing that I can do to change that.
Right. That's the thing. That's why men used to own women, because if men used to understand that if the woman under you was given free reign, she'll burn your house down and you still got to pay.
Yep. I'm telling you, bro. I mean, I agree with that. Like, I think we're all saying the right things. I just think we're looking at it from different perspectives, because You know, like I don't have any issues with complexes saying, and I agree with David Monroe and what Bernard is saying. I'm just saying that unfortunately, women trying to compromise, you know, the right look about a man that she actually is moved physically by versus her thinking about her survival beforehand, or it's not going to rationalize like that to them. Once they see you, they're hoping, oh, I feel good. I'm hoping that he can step up and be something that he never proven he could be because I want him in that moment. It's like they don't think logically. It's like fantasy. It's like me seeing a woman that I actually like and then expecting her to be feminine and cooperative before I even know it. It's not going to happen, bro.
Here's the one thing I disagree with Sister George is that she was like implying that women are more sexual with guys they want to be with in a serious relationship or guys that just have finances, resources.
That was
And I think
bullshit.
that's bullshit.
Nah,
I think they are more sexual with guys they are sexually attracted to and
yeah.
get sexual satisfaction from, plain and simple. So you could marry them, you could have money, you could pay all the bills, but if she's not sexually attracted to you like that, she's probably not giving you sex or probably not doing the most freakiest shit ever to you. So, you know, I think that notion was like bullshit, you know, and when they catch feelings, like I said, even if you are honest about your intentions with them, that is just casual, they will still take it as you dumping them. And since they can't handle rejection, you know, then they'll go lie to all their female friends and tell them that you led them on and you did this bullshit. And it's not just, now I'm gonna get to the topic of the show. It's not just ratchet women that do that, like hood boogers. I think women try to like marginalize the hood rat hoes and just and try to say that, oh, it's an obvious group of bad women, and that is the hood rats, and then you got the other group, which is the good women. No, like you can have career women, church women, you know, women who are like teachers, anything that they are toxic, they are dysfunctional, or they like toxic and dysfunctional dudes. So there's no obvious sign that a woman is good or bad. You have to take the time out to get to know her for yourself.
Right. Agreed. Absolutely, 100% agreed.
Can I respond to Sister George? She said good sex doesn't make.
General just got back in here. Let's let
Okay, you got it.
But she said something in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
Go
listen,
ahead,
man. Listen, man. Here it is. We want to make all types of fucking give women all types of goddamn excuses to continue to do the shit that they do. All right, let's look at it like this. If it comes down to a woman being able to make a good decision on how much to buy, when a good deal on a pair of shoes or boots are concerned, then why can't they do the same thing when choosing a man?
Have you ever seen a woman shop though?
Wait.
Hold on. They shop. They can't even shop like that.
You can't use a shoe analogy. They got 50 pair of shoes in the same closet.
Right. But a shoe for every day, like a man for every job.
But you're not listening. You're not understanding the point that I'm trying to make here, because you're looking at it from one-sided perspective. Okay, just open your mind for a moment. We give women too many different breaks. This is why the fuckery continues to happen. There's no accountability. You have to hold them accountable. You have to place accountability on them. If not, they're going to continue to do the same shit that they've been doing for generations now. When you sit there and say, oh, you can't hold her accountable. Look, when a woman lay down with you, she should be getting the same thing that you're getting out of it. She should be getting pleasure, a good fucking feeling. To do that, to say anything other than that is taking less value on your own body.
I think the relaxing of the law has made women kind of favor their manipulation. They think they can manipulate every situation. They don't have to be accountable.
That's a woman's nature to manipulate you, man. That's
right. But we used to have a law, but we used to have a law that kind of.
You can't put laws in place to stop that. You're talking about law versus ethic and morals.
What law are you talking about?
What kind of accountability are you talking about then, General? Because
what law? I'm missing something. What kind of law is a spiritual hawk talking about?
You remember it used. First of all, this whole a woman can abort thing and a woman, they didn't have this 100 years ago, man. I mean, This was like,
about
I
abortion.
mean,
Yeah, 100 years ago, niggas was fucking women and walking off leaving kids. They didn't have no child support to pay.
I'm just not saying no, but I'm not saying. But here's the thing. I get what you're saying, General. I'm not saying. I'm just saying
Don't
that
bring up
for a
that
woman to
feminine
survive.
style.
Hold on. I'm just saying for a woman to survive, she had to actually be something. She could just have abortion and then expect to survive. She was thrown out of society, and it had repercussions long term. That's what I mean.
How does that relate to today, though?
Well, that's the reason we have the problems that they didn't relate to today. Then that women had to be on code.
Well, here's the
survive.
thing. Well, so once again, isn't this apparent? This looks like some shit that women need to reconcile. Then, right?
They're not.
Ooh.
But I'm just saying they're not.
They
can manipulate it both
general
ways.
was just talking about responsibility and accountability. It's what I've been harping on. You want to know why we're
I
harping
agree.
on it? Because that's
I
actually
agree
what's
with
gonna
you.
fix shit.
I agree
If
with you,
it
but how are you going to
doesn't-
make
if
them?
It doesn't. There's no making. That's what I'm saying. They have to reconcile it on their own. There's nothing that you, the general, brothers on this panel, niggas in the United States, wherever you are, there's nothing that we can do about that shit.
Yeah, the problem with that complex is that as a nation, like scale what you just set up to the nation. Because as an individual, maybe you can ride the storm out as an individual. But what you're asking for on a community wide or nationwide level is
never
for
gonna
the men
happen.
to sit back and watch the women keep fucking up.
Dude,
And
if that's the corner you're painted in,
you cannot
that's the
expect the
corner you're
women to
painted
save
in.
us. That's just not going to happen.
No, I'm
Fools-
not. But see,
fools gonna be
I'm
fools.
expecting them. Look. This would actually fall under SYSBW in a lot of ways when you really think about it. Okay, by that whole reconciliation process I keep talking about. That's them actually saving themselves in order to save the community. Because I think that's what undergirds SYSBM. See, we can always mirror. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to ask, how often in the history of womanhood have women actually saved themselves from serious
Look, dude. Look. We're in the 21st century. It's 2020. I am
women
not
have
thinking
changed,
about.
though.
Listen, I'm not thinking about what's happened in the past. I am literally only talking about what would have to be done in order to change shit today. So whatever the fuck has happened in the past, you can take the past as an indicator. If you don't do this,
I want you to see the indications say they won't do what you ask.
Okay,
in 2020, they have too much sexual freedom.
I'm not arguing with you. I just told you. I told Sister George, y'all need to reconcile this shit. Ain't nothing I can do about it. That's pretty much the short end of it all right there. I'm basically agreeing with what you're saying. It's like, dude, I don't know. Y'all need to change this shit.
No. I want to move on to the next step then. If we both agree that they do need to reconcile it, and I say they just can't, do you accept that they just can't? And if you accept that they can't do it, then what?
Here's the thing. I'll accept, General, just let me answer this. And then,
okay, go ahead.
I'll accept. You said, will I accept that they won't do it?
They cannot reconcile things the way you're asking them to.
Okay, here's the deal, right? I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? So I'll just go ahead and say this. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It remains to be seen, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Go ahead, General.
Hey, listen, man. It's really, really simple. You take 50 black men, 50 black women, put them on an island, and they have none of the modern amenities, right? You have people that have all different skill sets. The brothers that can fish and hunt and provide food for themselves and build shelter for themselves, guess what the large majority of that 50% of black women are going to do? They're going to migrate over there with those brothers who are the builders, hunters, and the doers.
Yeah.
Okay, so ain't no such thing as what they can't do. We keep trying to give that act of though they're not human and they don't have the ability to reason for themselves. Now,
but that's a structure. That's a structure that society and culture has to set up.
Hold on. Yes.
I think what you're missing, Q, is that we are in a society that's built and functions and structures in a way where a woman can survive without a man. She can go get a job, take care of herself, buy a house that somebody else built. They got running water, electricity, and heat in the winter, and central air in the summer. So,
Brother Bernard, I understand. I'm breaking it all the way down to the bare reasoning part of it.
Okay.
I understand what we have with all these amenities. This is why I use this example, right? Now, there are going to be some of that 50 women on that island that are simply going to go for the guys that are standing out there with the dreads and the 6'4" frame and the muscles and the water sparkling off his skin, not doing shit, that do not have the ability to do shit. Sure, he's going to get a few of those women. That's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the women who are smart and who are about survival, they're going to migrate to those men who are builders, doers, and thinkers. That's what it is, because the art of survival. Now I understand we don't live in that time frame. Here's what's happening. It's increasingly coming forth. That time is increasingly coming forth. It's a slow process, but it's coming. And
Can I add something to what you said?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, you got to respond. Shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not disagreeing with him. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just going to add to what he's saying.
Real
Yeah,
quick.
I agree with what he's saying. I agree 100%. I'm just going to add that in a society of whoredom, another thing that's messing this whole program of speeding this process up is that women can sleep with both men. Like this whole thing about women are not whores, you can't slut shame a woman, that she can go ahead and get the alpha and secure the beta in the same setting.
And sleep with another chick if she chooses.
Right, but here's the problem.
Yeah.
Right, she can. That's true. We know all those dynamics exist. But here is the one constant problem, right? That's only going to be if the other woman allows the whore to come into her relationship. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Because as soon as when you pick a woman and you know that this woman is not gonna be for your bullshit, you pouring around, fucking around, having this woman and that woman on the other side of town, guess what you stop doing if she means that much to you? If you intend to marry her and she wants to do right by you or be in a long-term relationship, not even marriage, guess what you'll stop doing? Because you don't want to take the risk of losing that particular woman that you have chosen. If she ain't gonna put up with it, you stop it. Just like them, they know when they got a man that they can somewhat have that control over. Because if they're not going to put up with him fucking around with this one, that one, and the third one, guess what inevitably happens? Either the relationship ceases to exist or he stops doing the bullshit.
Right. And on that note, we went past the time that I had to get off of the air. I will read this last comment where she said we kind of slightly moved past this, but what Miss Downtown Judy Brown says, maybe stop rewarding women who exhibit the behavior you don't like with sex, relationships, with marriage, with money and attention. The marriage part, I don't think the women that exhibit behaviors we don't like are necessarily getting married like that. That's just something that me and her kind of have talked about before, but the sex, attention, relationships, money, well, probably not even relationships, but sex, attention, and money and all of that. Yeah, a lot of black men do give that to women who do have some of the undesirable characteristics. But on that note, we are about to get up out of here. I'm posting the link right now to Mixler. Y'all can go right on over there. We're going to move on over there. This is just a pre-show. He's going to be talking about the psychology of black women. So he's going to be going in on it. It's probably going to be piggybacking on a lot of what we're saying here today. And tomorrow we're going to have a similar show because I feel like we didn't get to wrap up this conversation. So we're going to just do like a part 2 of this. I want the same people to come back up on the panel so we can hash this out a little better. But in the meantime, as you walk out the door, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I just picked up a new subscriber. I'm trying to look at that real quick to see who was that just subscribed. Somebody subscribed. Somebody named William Owens. I don't know. They let you know. They let you know when some of the people subscribe. Not everybody, but it depends on how their settings are. But
yeah, they do, right? They kind of don't let you. Yeah. Sometimes I'll get a notification that I got a subscriber, and then I'll look at my subscriber number like, what?
Yeah. But thanks, William Owens, for subscribing. Hit that like button on your way out the door, everybody, and we are out of here.
All right, bro.
Yep. Go over to Mixler. Check out the O Man. He's on the air talking right now.